It's later in the year than usual, but the weather is definitely starting to change in upstate New York. Daylight saving time has taken a hold, and that means that we are all a little bit more tired. The sun goes down way too early, and it's harder to see on the road. People are starting to prep for winter hibernation here. It's a precarious time for those of us who suffer from seasonal affective disorder, otherwise known as SAD or the winter blues. We know that we need to keep up with life's activities, but the vitamin D in our bodies that the sun normally provides, well, it's declining, and all we want to do is avoid. When it happens to me, all I want to do is go home, put on some bummy clothes, crochet, pet my cat, eat, and go to bed. This year, I'm making presents for some of my loved ones, so I feel like I'm moving in some way forward a little bit, but really I'm doing about 1/10 of what I normally do. One activity that does get me excited is going to the Goodwill outlet, aka the bins. This is where overstock inventory or items that did not sell in the store go to be sold at a per pound price. You can get some amazing, crazy, amazing deals there. You just have to dig. I find it really fun, and I'm going to try and plan a trip real soon so I can get some good feelings flowing really soon. Now, in the meantime, though, I thought I'd share with you my top 10 tips for a successful bins trip, because not all thrift trips are equal. Traditional thrift stores are very different than the outlets. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I have so many thrift trip videos for you to binge watch, both at the stores and then also at the outlets. So if you're feeling some of the winter blues and you need a little pick me up, make sure you like and subscribe, because you can watch those videos and I'm sure they'll make you happy. And stick to the very end for a bonus tip that has made my bins trips the best ever. Tip number 1. Understand that each Goodwill outlet has rules. Most of the outlets that I have been to, they require all the people to go to one side of the store and wait behind a line when crews are changing out some of the bins for new ones. There are other stores that make you vacate the store completely, then they turn over all of the bins and make it a brand new store and then allow people back in. Either way, just know that when you see a crowd kind of moving in one way or another, if you've never been to that store, you probably should just follow along with them. Or you might get yelled at by a worker who is trying to safely relocate a bin. Tip number 2. Prices are different at each store, but one common theme: you pay by the pound. Sometimes with clothing, after you've reached a certain weight of clothes, like say 20 pounds, the price actually goes down even further. This by the pound price also applies to home goods, but if an item is too heavy, oftentimes they cap it at just a couple of dollars. The goal of the bins is to move large amounts of items at a fair price for both you and the store. And while many of us complain about the actual store prices, the thrift store prices, and how they've been going up, I have never once heard anyone complain about high prices at the bins. I've literally walked out of a bins store, having paid $125 for 4 carts full of items. Yes. It's that good of a deal. Tip 3. Each store is different. So far, I have been to a Goodwill outlet in 3 different states, and they each have their own vibe. Surprisingly enough, the one in New Hampshire was pretty cutthroat. People were running and pushing to get to new bins. They were throwing shoes. Yes, it was pretty cutthroat. Other locations, such as Roanoke, Virginia, people were excited to get into the bins, but not rude at all and not pushy at all. If you're not up for competing for items in new bins, my advice would be just stay back and go to the older bins. Each person is looking for their own special item, and there's always treasures to be had. Tip number 4. Be nice to other shoppers. You don't have to make friends with all the people sifting through the bins with you, but I will tell you this. I've teamed up with people I just met when I knew that they were looking for something different than I was. The next thing you know, we are tossing each other items that we value, and it's a win-win for everyone. Tip number 5. There are some regulars, or those you may notice are pros, whether they are electronic geeks or t-shirt bros. Each store will have some people that you can just tell are in it as a profession. Now, that does not mean that you can't pick up something they're looking for. You definitely can. They may even come over and look at your cart and ask to see what you have. Or they may even offer to buy it from you. Just know, technically, you're not supposed to sell another item to a shopper in the store. Technically. Tip number 6, be careful. Sharp objects, wet objects, UFOs, they are all in the bins. I once put my hand in a bin that was wet and slick. Yeah, it was really gross. Even after I learned that it was just a busted, broken bottle of hand sanitizer, I was still pretty grossed out. If you don't want to chance that, you can wear gloves. You can also wear a mask. I tend not to wear gloves because I want to make sure the items I'm getting are soft and in good shape, but to each his own. Tip number 7, dress appropriately. You are going to sweat. I love to wear a t-shirt and shorts when I go. I often have a fanny pack as well. I know the weather is changing soon, so maybe you need to dress in layers so you can peel off items as you get warm. I have been hot and sweaty each time I go because the combination of adrenaline, moving around heavy clothes or items, and just quickly rotating from bin to bin, it gets hot real quick. As you can see, it's just a warehouse, so I suspect that they can get cold. Thankfully, I have not experienced that. Just be ready for any changing conditions. Tip number 8, at least bring yourself a drink. I always have a bottle of water with me to stay hydrated. I have seen some people bring small snacks. You will likely be there for several hours, so prepare to take care of your body. Oftentimes, I'm there about 4 or 5 hours. On that note, I have never used the bathroom at one of these facilities. I know in at least 2 of the outlets I've been to, they did not have any public restrooms. So just take note. Tip number 9, be nice to the workers there. Oh my gosh. Many times I've seen some of the workers get so exasperated with some of the people who are breaking items just to move them out of the way. These workers spend the whole day rotating in and out heavy bins, cleaning up after people, ringing out very large purchases. I find that when I chat one of them up in a friendly tone, they are almost surprised and pleased that someone treats them like a human being. Just be kind. Tip number 10. It sounds corny, but have fun. Embrace the madness. Find the joy in the trip. Whether you enjoyed your partner, looking at all the crazy people running towards the bins, you found a gem, or you just spent the day thrifting, just have fun. Some people take thrifting way too serious. And if you've stuck it out so far, here is your bonus tip. Be open-minded. This has made me have some of the most successful thrift trips ever. If you're looking for a specific brand of jacket in a specific size, you are missing the point of the bins. This is a wonderland filled with anything you've ever dreamed of, from vintage to modern, from torn up to brand new with tags, from Walmart brands to high-end designer goods. You never know what you're going to get at the bins, so don't limit yourself to what you're looking for. If you love clothes, take some time to look at the home goods. You never know what you're going to come across. It is truly a fun, magical place that you can find some amazing treasures. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, have you gone to the Goodwill outlet, aka the bins? Did you find a gem? What's your favorite tip for surviving the bins? Do you have another tip that you can share? Let's have some fun talking about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see some of my trips to the bins, be sure to click the link to continue watching. I thank you so much for being here every week. Have a beautiful week ahead. I love you. And until next time, bye.